This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so nobody is having any problem in installing the VirtualBox. So it's bit trivial and it's like normal installation of a software, like clicking on next, 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 and it's done. So I'll not give demo to that. So what next I can do is like I can give a demo how to install an operating system using ISO. There I will explain some of the terminology, and that's the reason. I know everybody has installed, but still I want. So let me share the desktop. You can see the screen, correct? You can see several virtual machines are already there. I'm not going to use currently any one of those. So I'm going to create a new virtual machine. Let's name it as Santos 451. Santos July, let's say. And redhat 64-bit, I want 4 GB RAM. Let's keep it like this. Create a virtual hard disk. I want virtual hard disk is to be created of 20 GB. Currently VDI, it's a standard format for creating a virtual machine hard disk. And dynamically and fixed allocated. The meaning of this dynamically and fixed allocated is like, let's say you have created a 20 GB space, and in that space, if you're utilizing the whole 50 in dynamically, if you're utilizing suppose 1 GB, so from your actual hard disk, it's going to allocate only 1 GB of the space, not the full 20 GB. And suppose if you're using fixed size, your size you are giving size for 20 GB, then it's going to commit all 20 GB space from your hard disk. So it's going to take 20 GB hard disk at starting itself and allocate to the virtual hard disk, and it will start using that. So let's say we can say that dynamically allocated is a bit good option, so that we need not to worry about all 20 GB at the current time itself. When we use 20 GB, over the time it's going to grow up to that much of amount of memory. But yes, it will not go more than 20 GB because that's the actual size of the hard disk which we have given. So anybody's have any doubt in this here? I mean, dynamic or fixed, or maybe before this? Okay, great. Let me go next. So here is it's a size. I'll give 20 GB itself. Create. So you can see that this is the location of my hard disk where it's getting created. CentOS underscore July.vdi. I'll create. So this is a virtual machine it's created. Now with all these settings it has created. Now I need to change the setting and load the ISO from storage. CentOS 7. I pressed OK. Let's start. So I'll press up arrow key and press enter. This is the language selection. Let's make it to default and then press continue. Here date and time, the first option gives, and second option gives the keyboard selection. So it has detected automatically keyboard language support. We are asking for English and US. Installation source media is from DVD drive, so it doesn't have any problem here. Software selection is minimal installation. Here we can see minimal installation is like it'll have the basic functionality, and accordingly it is going to install all the packages. Let's say if you want the GUI with server, so this is the option you can select, and it's automatically installed the basic GUI packages which is required for the server. And along with this, if you want something else as well to install, you can select it from here. And you can select any package and then it will automatically get installed from during the installation time itself. Let's say if you want to host a basic web server, then you'll go here. Sorry, you'll go here and then you can uh, I believe it should turn on HTTPD and all, and along with that, what you want, that you can select it here. Like if you want Python, if you want PostgreSQL database for your website, or if you want Perl for your website, or if you want PHP for your website, or your MariaDB as a database for your website, then all those things you can enable it here, and then you can install it. So initial phase, I'll go with minimal installation. I'll mark it as done. And installation destination, I'll select the hard disk and then I'll mark it as done. Now the automatic partitions is selected, so it means like it's going to partition automatically and then it's going to install in that. We'll do the same thing again, and there we will see what is the manual partition, how we can do the manual partition. Here we have selected automatically configure partition, and if I will configure partition, then it will give me an option to uh, go for manual partition. So we'll do that next after this installation next time. And I would like to keep additional space available. So it's like if you want some additional space, then we can click on this. Encrypt my data. If I want to encrypt at this time itself my data, then you can click on this. But let's leave it for now. Go to done. Kdump. Kdump is kernel dump. So when it's getting used is, suppose your operating system is getting crashed. So at that time you can, if kdump is enabled, all the data is going to uh, it get dumped into kdump space, and there that particular data can be get utilized whenever your system is crashing, or after the crash, if you want to analyze your kdump at that time, it can be get utilized. Network and host name, it's not connected, it's turned off. Host name, it says localhost at the local domain. We may change it if we want. Anyways, we don't need to change here as of now. We'll change that in near future. Security policy, we don't want to have any security policy as of now explicitly, so we'll leave this as well blank and then we'll begin the installation. So it'll ask for root password and user creation. Root password, I'll give simple password, 1 character. So it's sending me the warning that this password is too small. You can see in the yellow bar. You'll have press down twice to confirm it. Let's press it down twice. User creation is test. Make this user as administrator. Password also I've given. Let's click on this also and see whether I do have sudo access or not. So here it's going to install 304 packages. Let this be installed, and then we'll see how to log in into that. Anybody has any doubt so far yet in any of the steps? Mm-hmm. Swanti, do you have any doubt? You came a bit late here, it seems.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Actually, I have installed the virtual machine. This one is the remaining part to install, CentOS
Mm-hmm.
one. So I need
So
to
you,
install this. Sir. I'll be doing
okay,
this.
okay. So I can share some of the videos. This is, I can paste this link, and this is the link, all the links which training has been delivered for the previous sessions. So let me copy and paste it for you guys so that you can use it if you want. What all things has been delivered. This is the video, and you can get a link to further videos from there. So that link, if anybody wanted to go ahead and let's give a try for something else, you can, if your time permits, then you can look at the other further videos, and you can go ahead. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me anytime. You may be able to find out some of the differences in between that video and this video, because whatever is going to come in my mind, I'm going to deliver it during the lecture. So I may not be same at every time. So it's installing several things like generating an InterMFS. Before that, it's installing the boot menus and all. Before that, it was doing post installation script. So it's all the part of installing operating system. It's done. Let's reboot. Yeah, here it gives us two options. This is the first option. This is the second option. In first option, we can start our normal Linux with all the things. In second option, it tells about the rescue mode. We'll talk about that later in further lectures. What is that and how we can use that. So I have pressed enter, so it's proceeding with the first option. Let me remove the device. Yeah, we have the screen. So root was the user for and password. I am able to log in. So this is visible to everybody. I am able to log in. You can see that with the username and password. IP space -a is a command for checking at the IP in the latest CentOS. So this is my interface. This is my interface ENP0S3. In your Windows, you will have WLAN, Ethernet, or something like that, the networking interface name. Here we will have ENP0S3 in Linux. Either it's if you have Ubuntu or any, it can be ENP0S3 in Ubuntu as well, or may not be. So you need to check what is the interface name of your LAN card, and then you need to proceed further. So what I need is, like, if I wanted to enable internet here, I need to have a static or dynamic IP assigned to this particular virtual machine. So I can see that for this LAN, there is no IP assigned. The state for this is up. So it is up, but there is no IP assigned to this. So what I will do, this is a command dhclient /v. Dhclient is ask for DHCP as a client from server for this adapter. So we'll give EMP0S3. So it's looking for any existing server, and it got the IP 10.0.2.15. IPA, you can see that 10.0.2.15. Now let's ping Google, and yeah, we are able to ping. It means internet is working. Okay, so we can try to access this from POTI, but we will not be able to access that. 10.0.2.15. And there we go. We are not able to access the session from POTI. Anybody has any idea why we are not able to do that? Look, network timeout, connection error. So anybody has any idea why we are not able to do that? Okay,
Yeah.
let me go ahead. Yeah, somebody wanted to say something? Yes, Swanti, you wanted to say something?
No, actually, I don't know why it is not happening. For that
Mm-hmm.
only, I unmuted my mic.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
have no.
Mhm. Okay, no problem. So the reason for that is I am in NAT. NAT is a configuration of network here, and NAT is going to give me a private IP for this for running virtual machine itself. So if I'm creating one more virtual machine, and that is also NAT, so the meaning of that is I will be able to connect with one virtual machine with another. Let's say this is another virtual machine, CentOS underscore node 2, and this is also having a NAT configuration. So it means like this NAT and this NAT both are local to this virtual box, because this DHCP IP what we have got 10.2. 10.0.2.15 has been given with this VirtualBox. So it's all local to VirtualBox. So we may be able to connect this with this node, CentOS node 2 to CentOS July. But currently what I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to connect this with this virtual machine from my laptop, and laptop has got a different IP. So it's in different domain right now. It's not in the same. So either I need to change the domain of my laptop, or either I need to change the domain of this VirtualBox. So for me, it's easy to change the networking of a VirtualBox itself here. So I will go there. I am here from near NAT 2. I will press to bridge adapter and I'll press OK. And once again, I'll do the DH client. It says it's running. pkill is a command to kill any process. So I have run. I've killed the DH client, and once again I wanted to get the IP address. Now you can see that it'll take 190 to 160. The reason for that is I have changed the network, and now it's picking the IP. Whatever the IP you are looking at here, it's picking up from the router from which my laptop is connected. So now my laptop and this virtual machine both are in same domain. Let me restart this. Oh, this time also it will not restart. It will not connect because I have made the networking up and working and in the local network, but still it will not work because I am trying to connect through putty, and what putty does is it is trying to connect to an SSH server, and it is expecting that SSH server should be running at this server, this at this point, what is the virtual machine we have created. So for that we are required to install a SSH server here. So first we'll do update. Now what is yum? Yum is a package manager for CentOS. Through that we can install some software, we can remove any software, we can update our whole system, we can upgrade even our whole system, and we can do several other things regarding package management. So how the package management work is, okay, speed is pretty slow. Let's talk for some time, as much for the time it's downloading. Yeah. So what I thought is, let's create a diagram. So when I say repository is a collection of software. This is a collection of software which is kept online, and a repository will have the metadata of all this software. When I say metadata of all this software, it means like it will have several DB file and XML file is stored in this server itself, and this repo server is sitting somewhere around the world, and for any Linux, any operating system, generally we do have several repos set up in different places. So what the metadata can contain? The metadata will contain all the information of existing software in that particular repo, and the size and the dependency packages. So several information that particular metadata will contain regarding the package which is present in that repository. So currently you can see that when I have done yum update, it's going to contact with mirror.hostever.com for base extra update. So base extra updates, these are all three, what to say, types of the repository which is present in the server. Base is like base type of packages where it will be present. Extras means which is more than the base packages. Base packages are like basic software requirement which is required to run the system or run the CentOS, I can say here. And updates are, let's say I have installed OpenSSH software from base, and any update comes in near future, so that will go into the updates folder of the repo. So here it's downloading, currently it's downloading a metadata. So it's not going to download all the packages, it's going to download just only the metadata of the base, extra, and then updates. So you can see primary underscore DB, it has downloaded group.gz, it has downloaded, now it's on again downloading primary underscore DB. So it's going to download all the database package, sorry, databases. And after that, it's going to extract. And when we install any software, like I'll run a install command after this, and we'll see what it's going to do. Oh, it has given all the updates available in the repository to install. So it says install one package, upgrade 113 package. It's going to download 253 MB in size. Do I want to continue? No, I don't want to continue currently. Okay, so it's exited simply. My purpose was to update the metadata. So what has happened is like it's having metadata of all the packages here. So from a computer, let's say I'm running a command called, just now I've run the command. So do I'll run later yum space update. So what it has done is it has downloaded this metadata alone here. Okay. And after downloading, when we run, when we wanted to install any package, yum install open ssh-server. So there are two questions. How I know that I want this package and what is the use of this package? So how you are going to identify that for your application, which package you need? So to reply to that question, you are required to search. First of all, you need to know what is your need, what do you want to do, what do you want to achieve. That might be your requirement or that might be coming from a client. And after getting to know, you need to search for an application that to expedite your work, which application is available into the market or in open source. So after searching, you may get several names, and in one of those names, you need to install it and then start working in the server. So here, my purpose is I wanted to connect this. I wanted to connect this virtual machine with this putty. You can see here. So for that, I need to run an server here, which is an OpenSSH server. So that's what my requirement is, and hence I'm installing it here, OpenSSH-server. So here we can see that it has gone to base extra updates and it has resolved the dependency. OpenSSH server will be updated, and all these things are going to install. So it's going to install OpenSSH, then OpenSSH-client, OpenSSH-server. These three packages are going to install along with whatever I have installed, whatever I have marked for install, OpenSSH-server. So in another word, I can say that OpenSSH server is dependent. This package is dependent on this and this, OpenSSH and OpenSSH-client. These two things should be there. So now we can see that it has fetched just only the names and the dependency, and it has given us in a good format. And these all are coming from the updates repository. Nowhere from the base, nowhere from the what was another extras. So it's all coming from the updates. So it has given me just the list by fetching. So this information, it came from where? This information came from the metadata which has been downloaded after yum space update. Okay, if yum update has not been done yet, this data will never come to you. So first of all, yum update. If I do install also, if I do at first yum install OpenSSH-server, at that time also, if it has not been updated, it is going to update all the metadata, and then it is going to give me this information, whatever we are looking at right now. So I want to install and go ahead. So I'll press Y and it's downloading. After that, it's asking me for saving the keys, which has been provided by the CentOS right now, since it's the first time I'm installing. So the reason for installing the keys is it will, whatever the packages it has downloaded, it needs to check whether these packages are valid packages or not. It has not been mangled in between. So to check that, it is going to download the public keys, and with the public keys it will check with this all the packages and it verifies whether it's correct or not, because all the packages are the signed packages from the private key of this CentOS. So in any system, if you are going to do it for the first time, it is going to ask, and we are required to say yes to proceed further. I have pressed Y and then pressed enter. It has installed all the things. Now OpenSSH has been installed. Now I need to run the SSH here. Systemctl enable OpenSSH-server. Okay, it's not giving me any option to enable nor start. Okay, let me give a no, reboot should not do. Hmm. Hmm. I need to check the service name. What to start or what to give. Let me think. What we have given lastly. Okay. So for SSH server, we are having a service name called SSH daemon, which we have enabled it and start it. Let's start it. Now let's see if we are able to log in from the outside or not. Hmm. So we are still not able to log in. Now I need to add, I think, no, I'm still pinging 10.0. Let me close this. New session 192.168.154. dot 152. Let me open it. Yeah, you can see that it's asking me for the keys to save. So I'm going to save it, and then it gave me the login prompt. I have logged in through root and the password. There we go. I have logged in through root putty, and I am able to see the username, IP address. You can see that 192.168.154.152. It's the same IP address what we have looked for from the another console. Anybody has any doubts so far? Okay. If no doubt, then we'll proceed with the installation again. And this time we'll go with the manual installation. And in that manual installation, we can give a try to install a GUI based server. But ultimately, we'll use this server only, not the GUI based. Yeah, so let me close this. Anybody has any doubt here? Okay, let me complete it here again. Suppose if I'm running after yum update, if I'm running yum install OpenSSH-server. So whatever the metadata it has downloaded, it's going to check for OpenSSH server what all dependencies I need to download and what all from which all addresses I need to download. It fetch from this information whatever we have downloaded offline, and after that it will go here, and inside that repo it will go here, and inside that repo it's going to download all the packages because it has the location from where it is required to download the package and the dependencies. So it will download from here, and after that it is going to install it. So the main purpose of this package management is yum is to fetch the metadata, to authenticate whether that package is valid or not, and to fetch the information from where to download the packages from the repo. I mean the address it's going to resolve with the help of fetching the metadata, and after that download the package and dependency, and then install the package and its dependencies. So that's the purpose of whole yum command. And okay, so let's see if anybody has any doubt here. Okay, if no doubt, let's proceed further. I'm going to close this without saving. So this we wanted to create one more extra. Let's create a new. Let's rename it to Center July 2. Next, let's give it a RAM to 4 GB, and the same settings I wanted to give disk space. Let's give it 20 GB. Let's create it. Go to settings, give the disk by giving it to empty. Give the ISO, CentOS ISO, press OK, then start this machine. When it'll start, we'll see the window with our ISO. After this, press the install and it will proceed further. Then I'll make a pause. I'll make a pause at installation and at manual partition. Yeah, installation. Now this time I wanted to configure it by myself. So after configuring, I need to go to the disk and where we can format. I have rescanned it and selecting. If I press done, it's asking me to assign the partitions. First, I'll go for a standard partition. I will not go for LVM. So when I press enter, it's going to ask me what is my mount point. The mount point here in Linux is, but before the mount point, we can see it here. Available space is 20 GB and total space is also 20 GB. So I have only one hard disk, and to that hard disk I have given 20 GB of space. So I'm going to create a standard partition out of it, and I'll press, so for that I'll press on this plus button. So it's going to ask me about the mount point. What is called mount point here? Let's see. We have root, boot, home, var swap, BIOS boot. So I'll explain that mount point later during the session when we use a mount command. At that time, I'll explain it a bit in a more elaborative way. So here we'll do it in a shortcut. That mount point is a point where we want the particular file system is to be get mounted. So the primary mount point should be root and then swap. So this is a root, and I can give 18 GB to this, and the remaining space I can give to swap. These are all the two basic mount point which you are supposed to give for manual installation of your operating system. So let's see if I press, okay, let me delete this swap to check whether it's asking for minimum partition or not. If I press done, it's going to show me a warning changing storage configuration. Click for detail. When I pressed for click for detail, you have not specified a swap partition. Although not strictly required for all the cases, it will significantly improve performance for the most installation. So it is advisable to create a swap partition. Let's create a swap, add mount point. So it's going to add the remaining all remaining spaces and then proceed for done. Okay, it's done. Sorry, it's about to be done. So it's showing what all operation it's just going to perform. It's going to previously it's just going to destroy the unknown partition into and make it device name as SDA, and then after that it's going to partition that uh, SDA, and further it's going to divide into two partition, and after that it's going to make the extension, change the extension or the file system type to swap and then XFS of two different particular partitions. So after this we'll do that accept changes and it will do the changes. So now I want the GUI as well. So I'll go to the software selection, server with GUI, I'll click and then I'll click on done. It may take some time to select the packages, list of packages based on the selection, whatever I have done, I have given. Now it's done. And after that, I can click on begin install. It's going to begin the installation. You can see that it's partitioning, it's doing all the things here. So let me go ahead and create the root password similar to the previous one itself and create a user. Let me give it done. Yeah, so here you can see that the number of packages got increased. Previously it was 300 something, now it has 1348. So for GUI we need lots of things. So you can see that if you are using a GUI based server, it means you are using a heavy server. At least if you do have less resources, it's better not to use the GUI. But ultimately in the terminology of server, I can say that we don't use GUI. We use command prompt most of the time or all the time. The reason for doing that, server is a big machine, and that server you are required to have installed several things. And to access the several things, you required at least access to that system is PuTTY or the SSH. You may not have GUI available because GUI is going to require lots of packages installed in your server, and to access that GUI you are required to have a good network as well from where you are trying to access. So it's better not to have that. And PuTTY, through PuTTY you will be able to access your server within some KBs of speed as well. At 10 KB, 20 KB speed is also coming. In that speed also you will be able to access your PuTTY, you will be able to access your server through PuTTY. So that's very good, and with less speed as well you can do that. So there are several lots of advantages of using PuTTY and over the GUI. So that's the reason we don't require GUI. We don't want to put our server in a heavy load, or even though if it's not a heavy load, we don't want to put that. So that's the reason we go ahead with the uh, manual installation of a server. So it's doing it. Let's finish this. So far, anybody has any doubt? So in today's class, we are going to see only these two things, and rest of the things we'll proceed further, like looking at the desktop and looking at the terminal and getting to know more about the folders and its usage.
Hello.
Yes, Kangesh, tell me.
Sir, just I want to know a little bit what difference between the XFS format and the ext4. Is that beneficial?
XFS seems to be new. Let me tell you about the difference. The difference is in any of the file system is how that particular file system is going to manage their data inside it. So let's say suppose we have chunk of data. So in some file system format, it's installing the data from starting, or it's reading the data and presenting us in a good way, or it's the different way it is stored and it gives us. So what is good is I can say probably uh, newer version can be good, but it all depends on your requirement, and you are required to study about any explicitly any system file system if you wanted to use that particular file system. But I do prefer whatever the default is going to come, like default ext3, ext4, or here I can see the default is xfs. So the ext
Okay, sir.
is widely used by Linux system, and the newly is xfs.
Okay, sir.
So basic difference is how the data is being accessed inside the file system. That's the basic difference. In every
Okay, sir.
case, in every file system, it's going to maintain the metadata, and from the metadata, it is about to access the files. Either it's ext4, ext3, or xfs, or btrfs, or ntfs, or FAT32, anything. It's all the difference in how that particular file system is going to manage the data, whatever we are installing that. Okay. I
Okay,
hope
sir.
I am able to reply your question. Yeah, in
Yes,
a
sir.
basic
Yes.
way.
Yes.
Yep. So we can see here all the installation seems to be done. It's installing the post installation steps. Okay. Anybody has any further doubts? Great.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So actually my screen got freezed, so I thought sir, after installing the virtual machine, you have shared yesterday one link regarding CentOS Mirror. In that, what we have to do after opening that, do we have to download the 64 DVD 2009.iso or
Yes,
in
4.4 GB file.
the size is 4.4 GB.
Yeah, yeah. I have given the name as well, which you are required to download. Which
Okay.
file?
In this recording, I will get no means from the scratch you have explained. No? Actually, I've joined late today.
Yes, in this I have explained all the things, but let me open that for you. This is the link. Okay, how I have gone here. CentOS
So,
download. It gives me Google. I have gone to this link. It's going to give me all these things. I want 7.9 and I want x86 underscore 64 architecture. I don't want ARM, so it's going to give me all these. I might have given
mhm.
you any one of the link. I don't remember which one I've given
uh,
you. So you can click on any of the links, okay, and then you can
okay,
click on
okay,
this 4 point this one, CentOS 7 x86 2009.iso. Okay, you can click and
so
download
okay,
it. This one.
okay.
After downloading,
2009.iso.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
After download, yeah, yeah. So after downloading, whenever you have, after creating your virtual machine, let's say this is the virtual machine you have newly created, and in that settings, you need to go to this storage and empty, and here you are. For me, it's listing because I have already installed, and
Mm-hmm.
I this virtual machine already know the location. If you are doing the for the first time, then you need to choose a disk. Sorry,
Okay.
not disk, virtual optical disk. And there I need to add my
Mm-hmm.
virtual optical disk. Let's say Ubuntu. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to add the Ubuntu and then I need to say choose.
Okay. Mm.
And it will list here. And after that, you can select it here. Okay. So you can
Okay.
see that it's showing Ubuntu. Similarly, you can do for you.
Okay.
You are required to select the CentOS. So it's completed. Let's reboot.
Mm.
You can see that it's booting from the GUI and it will give us a GUI. It may take some time depending upon your RAM and your processor availability. Yeah, license, I need to accept it. Here I have the window. So this is a normal user test. I'm required to log in with the password, whatever I've created during the installation. So I'm logging in. And there we go. It gave us a GUI. So it's asking for the language. I have selected the English, US. Next, I don't want to connect with anything. Simply start using the CentOS. I know there is a lag in between whatever I'm speaking and whatever you are seeing, I believe. So I'm trying to sync as much as possible. So here we have the GUI. Now, first thing what we have done is we have installed the SSH server, and in that we have before installing even we have assigned the IP using dhclient command. So here we can click on the right corner and see the network wired and click on connect. So after clicking on connect, it's going to pick the DHCP automatically. So it has picked up the IP address. Now what we need to do is we need to update the package manager, or we need to install. It's not going to give us. Okay, let's get it from here itself. System tools, terminal. I will explain what is sudo -s and what is sudo later, maybe tomorrow. Yum install open ssh-server. You can see this time I have not run yum update. I have done only yum install open ssh-server, and this time also it's going to download. You can see all the things whatever it has downloaded during yum update. This is the first time I'm running, and it's going to download the metadata. And you can see that this time it has the different place of fetching from the mirrors. Mirror location is different. You can see that. centers.mirror.snu.edu.in. So it automatically checks whichever server is faster and from where it can update whatever is nearer to the IP, whatever from where I'm trying to fetch. So it checks automatically and identifies, and it start downloading from there. So let me say yes to download this OpenSSH-server. And again, you can see it's asking for the GPG key. I need to press yes. systemctl enable. I'll explain about this as well. What is systemctl? Enable SSHD. Now we can try. Okay, I don't know the IP of it. Now I know the IP. Let me go to putty. Not this. And 192.168.122.1. That should not be the IP. What is the Ethernet? Okay, that's not the IP. IP for that is 10.0.2.15. This is down. This is down. So these are all the different type. These are all the different what to say networks. I can see that it is virtual networks, and for this the local network and the Ethernet is this one, and that is up here. This is down. This is down. So you need not to worry about this. So up the IP assigned for this up is 10.0.2.15. 10.0.2.15. Open it. Oh, we will not be able to open again because of the same reason. We need to change this from NAT to bridge. Go to devices, go to network settings. From NAT, change it to bridge. Press OK. Now I need to disconnect this and connect it again so that it runs the DH client and gets the latest IP. IP got changed. Yes, it got changed. 192.168, 154.187, 192.168.154.187. Yeah, we can see that we have the access. I can log in into this machine using root, and you can see we have access from PuTTY of this GUI as well. So this is it. I mean, accessing a machine using PuTTY or accessing a machine using SSH outside of that particular machine. So let's shut it down. Let's shut it down. Let me stop. If anybody has any doubt, can ask here. Let me stop.